I'm seeing a lot of chiming here from the chat group about the defense. So I think it's about time we start talking about this Canes defense, guys. What was it today? Good or bad? Jordan, you go ahead and start this. Good or bad? What did you see today, or what was typical that you saw today?
Worry about our defensive backs, man. James Williams and Cameron Kinchens are special talents. There's no denying that. I think James Williams is as good of a game as he had last week. I think he showed that he's a world-class prospect, perhaps the most talented 19-year-old I've ever seen play football. I think he kind of came back down to earth this week. I saw him get blown up like 3 times. But that's beside the point, right? Because I'm not worried about James Williams. I saw Isaiah Dunson get beat twice on deep balls.
Yep.
Bubba Bolton, I mean, we could talk for hours on him, man. And, I don't know. Cam Kinchens was kind of up and down, had some great plays, had some plays where, he probably could have done a little better. But we need more cohesion and we need more consistency from that unit. And unfortunately, we're going to have to lean on the true freshmen. That's not really fair, but that's just kind of what we're going to have to do. They're the talent,
Chavez, I saw you smile there when we brought up Bubba Bolton. I was going to be asking you bluntly here, man. What's up, man? What's your take on Bubba Bolton? And drop the reel.
All right, so I think preseason I saw that he was ranked like one of the top 10 safeties, and he might be. I think he's a junior, that he might be leaving, and he's going to be drafted. But I think, to be honest, I think this year he's played himself out of the draft. There's no. I just don't see why you would select him. I mean, he's just been, his tackling has been horrible. His effort's been horrible. It's just, and I've been watching him because I've heard his name when he transferred. Like I said, I heard his name. Mel Kiper ranked him like one of the top 10 safeties. So, last year I was like, guy's pretty good. But so I've been watching him this year, thinking that, seeing if he's going to leave, if he's going to stay. But in the past few games, man, he's been played out. He's been outplayed by Kitchens. He's been outplayed by Williams. And he's played himself out of consideration. So I think he's out there because he's experienced, but his play is not just, it's not up to par. And I don't know why, if you were going to play him, he would be, I think at this part, he'd probably be like maybe a third or fourth option. I would have to throw my young guys out there because they're playing much better.
Is this pretty much all mental for him right now?
I don't know, man. I don't. Well, I do know. I believe it is mental because your talent doesn't just drop off like that.
Yeah.
Nobody's talent just goes downhill. Even if you're not being developed by your coaches, you would still be where you were last year. And even as you grow as a player and you become more experienced, you play more games, you watch more film, you become better. So I think it is mental, and I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if he's looking over his shoulder at the young guys. I don't know if he's worried about the record. I don't know if he's worried about, if he's going to leave this year. But I think it's all in his head, man, because we know he can play. But if it doesn't translate to the field, like they used to say when we played, the eye in the sky doesn't lie. So, he's not showing us a lot right now. Maybe he's more of a vocal leader. Or maybe he's more of an experienced leader, but his play just isn't showing this year.
There's a mention here in the chat saying Bubba is playing with a torn labrum currently. And I can say that I played in the secondary myself, and having a torn labrum in your shoulder trying to drop and make a hit on somebody, you can think questionably about that. You can double take that, and you can do what you can to try to not have that impact hit that shoulder directly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you get that goofy arm tackling stuff, the Olay stuff where guys just run right through you. So hopefully that's something. I know you can't really get that fixed in season, especially while you're playing, but hopefully they can at least manage the pain aspect for it because, it's going to be clear. Bubba Bolton is going to get snaps on this team no matter what.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You guys hit it. You guys nailed it. These younger guys are flat out better. Cam Kinchens already shows more Power 5 ability as a safety than Bolton does, in my opinion. James Williams, his physical traits alone make him an absolute nightmare. Where do we go with Bubba Bolton then? If you're T-Rob, where do you go with Bolton this next week?
That's tough, man. Like, I mean, I'm giving an outsider perspective, right? I feel bad for the guy. Like, he sacrificed to come back for the team, try to win big, and it's just not working out. Like, I imagine when it's more of a personal relationship, like these coaches have with these kids, like that'd be tough, man. That'd be tough to sit him down and be like, look, we just can't play you. When he's probably like, dude, I could be in the NFL right now. Like, why are you doing this to me? I came back for you guys to try to help the team. That'd be tough. But at the end of the day, I mean, the eye in the sky doesn't lie, right? I like that. I'm going to steal it. But it's
That's
true.
what they say.
It's true, man. Like, he's not playing at a winning level. And I mean, are you going to let personal relationships interfere with winning or not? Like, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Has Bubba pretty much lost his shot in the NFL currently?
That's tough. That's tough. I think he'll get a shot.
Yeah.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's highly regarded as he was before. I don't know. I definitely don't think he's a top 10 safety anymore. Not according to his play, but I think he'll get a shot. I think they will, because when NFL teams are looking at guys, they consider everything. They're going to talk to the coaches. They're going to talk to the medical staff. So there may be an injury that we don't know about. And when the scouts go in, the medical staff is going to tell them everything they need to know. They're going to stick up for him. The coaches are going to tell him, maybe he's going through something in his personal life. Maybe he does have a torn labrum. So the scouts will find out, all right, hey, look, man, this guy was playing with a torn labrum for half the season. That's why he wasn't performing up to his standards. You know what? Let's give him a shot. Let's get him healthy. And so I think he'll get a shot. I think he'll get a shot. I think he's proven that he can play. Again, we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but I think he'll get a shot. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good player. He hasn't played up to his standards, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't see a reason why. I mean, especially if he does, like, let's say hypothetically he does have a torn labrum, like that's going to be on record, right? Like, any NFL scouts that talk to the team, they're going to know that. They're going to have his film from previously in his career. At the very worst, he's going to get a camp invite so that they can evaluate him in person with other NFL players.
Right.
I think at the very least, he's going to get camp invites. I don't know if he'll be drafted or not. Like, who knows? But he's going to get a shot for sure. He's too physically gifted and has already shown too much on the field. I mean, if I was a talent evaluator in the NFL, I would really question, like, looking at all of his tape from last year, I'd be like, why is it after week 7 in the Clemson game? Why does his tape just drop off a mountain? Was there an injury there too? Or, like what's going on with this guy? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it a work ethic? Is it a desire type of thing? Does he, I don't know, something about that Clemson game, man. It's almost like his soul left his body or something. He just like isn't all that interested in football anymore. But I have no idea. I don't want to say that definitively. I'm just saying what it looks like from the couch, right?
So another issue that we've had on our defense has been our linebacking core. I'm kind of curious, what did you guys see from our linebacking core today? Jordan, go ahead.
It's rough, man. It's been rough for 2 years, bro. Corey Flagg, I was drinking the Corey Flagg Kool-Aid, man. I think I was making the Corey Flagg Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you were.
In the offseason. I had he showed a lot as a true freshman. And I thought that he would continue to develop and solidify his role. He's not the most physically gifted specimen for a linebacker. He's not the quickest, whatever, but he has he showed ball hawking tendencies last year. He just kind of always showed up in the right space, kind of like a Shaq Quarterman, right? I was hoping that we could get that kind of stuff, but dude, there's just not really anything. I mean, Keontra Smith has popped a little bit this year on occasion, but man, it's there's not a whole lot to be happy with when it comes to linebackers this year.
Chavez, was there anything from this linebacker unit that you saw different this week, or anybody doing anything special or not special, or did you see any attempts by our DCs to actually change the way we're running our linebacking unit?
Nah, I didn't see much. I think that unit is just kind of existing right now. Nobody's standing out. I think as a whole, the defense did better this week. But again, that unit isn't standing out. Same thing with our secondary. We have a few players here and there that are standing out and that are giving us something, but the secondary isn't giving us a lot. The D line isn't giving us a lot. And when you think about football as a whole, like all of the units are intertwined. So for example, if we can't create we're not getting any pressure with our front four at all, at all. So that leaves our linebacking core out to dry. That hangs our defensive backs out to dry, because now if you want to create some pressure, now I've got a blitz. Yeah. Well, now my secondary is in man. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you say or what team you are. When you're playing against Division I athletes, it's hard to cover, especially if they have time. So everything's intertwined, man. We got to find a way to create some pressure with our guys up front. And, if our D tackles are taking up, 2 bodies, then that frees up our linebackers. So again, man, everything's intertwined. We've got to, that's why they say the games are won in the trenches. That's where everything begins. So, the linebacker core is kind of just existing right now. Everybody was flying to the ball tonight. So we look better as a defense as a whole. But, there's no one unit that's really standing out that we can say, hey, this unit is going to carry our defense.
Yeah, I had tempered expectations on the defense coming into the season. Looking up and down the depth chart, all of the returning guys with experience hadn't really shown me much. Mm-hmm. I guess there's a lot of, some of the corners that were returning were hot button, topics, DJ Ivy, Al Blades, to Corey Couch. Like, they had shown good performances and abysmal performances last year. But man, like the D line, all the returning guys with starting experience, kind of average, average at best. Same with the linebackers and the safeties. So we're really like kind of leaning on our young talent to pop. And that that's a weird position to be in, man. Like, how are you going into a season playing a Power 5 schedule and being like, okay, we really need our 18-year-olds to show up and dominate some 23-year-olds tonight.
Right.
Like, and it's across the board too. We're like, man, we need Leonard Taylor to be a force in the middle if we want to get some pressure tonight, right? It's like, well, he's 18 years old.
Yeah.
We need James Williams to make some plays in the backfield. Well, he's also 18 years old. And those guys are certainly capable of it from a talent point of view. But you see James Williams get blown up a few times. Mm-hmm. I saw him get blown up by a running back in pass protection, right? That's probably not going to happen after he gets more strength and conditioning. But that's the nature of relying on true freshmen, right? They're guys that haven't had the 4 years of great diet and exercise. They're guys that haven't had the 4 years of being coached up by someone making hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Mm-hmm. It's a weird position, man. So I can't say that I'm surprised. But that's like, how are we in year 7 of Manny Diaz being a Miami Hurricane and we still have no linebackers? He's been over that position group his whole time here.